this is Caitlin here and welcome to our bonus Patreon video for this month. This one is dedicated to our Patron Alucard for suggesting the topic for this video, which you can obviously see in the title down below and in the thumbnail. The topic in particular that we're going to be discussing today is guests that I would love to see at MCM Glasgow, aka MCM Scotland. Now we got our first tiny little glimpse of one of the guests that are going to be attending, and I forget her actual name. I'm very bad. I forgot to look it up before I started recording, but it's going to be Diva's voice actress, you know, from Overwatch. She's been the first guest announced for MCM Scotland, and I'm pretty hyped because that straight away shows that we're getting hopefully a high caliber of guests this year. Now, I saw a lot of people complaining in the announcement, well, not a lot, but there was a few people complaining that they didn't care particularly for voice actors for being guests. I think this came from the crowd of people who were more into actual actors. Like, I felt like it was coming more along the lines of people who are more interested in television and in like movies than they are as opposed to anime and gaming from voice actors. But I personally love voice actors, and I think pretty much the majority of my favourite guests that I've ever seen at MCM or like gotten things signed from, the majority of them have been voice actors. I think the only one who wasn't a voice actor that I got something signed for was Andrew Lee Potts, who was an actor who was in Primeval, and obviously he was also in the sci-fi version of the Alice movie, and I think he was the only actual actor person that I've actually gotten anything signed by, but pretty much all the other ones have been voice actors that I've been ecstatic to see. So I'm actually really excited because I think this shows a high caliber that we're actually getting someone from the Overwatch cast to come to MCM Scotland. I think is really cool. Like, a lot of the Overwatch cast seems to be going to MCM London, and I'm pretty sure quite a lot of them have been confirmed for Birmingham as well, I believe. So I think that it shows like a potential in what we can see for MCM Scotland. So the topic of this video is who I would like to see as guests. Now, my choices are maybe a little bit biased, and the majority of them are going to be voice actors. Now, I wasn't quite sure whether to limit myself to like a top 5 or something like that, but I thought I would just list off a couple of people who I would love to see at MCM, because there's quite a lot, because there's quite a lot of voice actors that I adore, that I follow on Twitter and Instagram and all that, and even there's like some people that I actually really want to come who are more YouTuber based, because almost every year Tomska is almost guaranteed to be at MCM Scotland, and that's great. It's just after the first time you've seen like someone like that, it's just like it's not quite the same to go back unless you're like a really avid fan of their work and everything. And it was cool to meet him the first time and whatever, but like it would be cool to see more YouTubers and stuff going to conventions like this. So I think I'll start off with a couple of voice actor-y people that I would love to see, and then a couple of maybe YouTube personalities. We're probably never ever going to get anyone as big as or bigger than Tomska at this point, but I feel like even if I could just like pray and hope that some of these people would actually ever come to MCM Scotland, then maybe that would be just a little bit of a good thing, wouldn't it? So in terms of voice actors I would love to see, again, it would be awesome if we got more of the Overwatch cast. In particular, I would love to see Matthew Mercer, of course, because he does more than just Overwatch. He does obviously Yusuke from Persona 5, he does Chrom, and he does Chrom from Fire Emblem Awakening, and he also does Shigure from Fire Emblem Fates. He does so many characters. Like, Matthew Mercer is like all over the place. Like, it would be so cool if he were to come. And saying that, I would also love a majority of the Persona 5 cast to come as well. In particular, it would be really cool if we got Max Middleton, if we got Xander Mobus, who's obviously the protagonist, aka Ren, aka Akira. Max Middleton is Ryuji. I would love it if like the majority of Persona 5 cast came. It would be amazing. Who else would I love to come? Johnny Cruz for Lucio. He would be awesome to see at MCM. I would love to meet him. Who else would I like? Probably in terms of other voice actors, this is mainly leaning towards anime, but there's a little bit of video game in here. Todd Haberkorn, he is an amazing voice actor. Like I always said, to, like when I think it was the very first MCM I went to, when I got to meet Vic Mignogna, and it was funny because we were talking to him, and one of my friends had a DVD of Orem High School Host Club to get him to sign, and he was like drawing moustaches on Todd's characters and giving them like Star Trek badges and everything, and I was like, oh, you need to tell Todd that he needs to come to MCM Scotland sometime, and he's like, yeah, I'll probably tell him. So yeah, I would love it if Todd Haberkorn came, because obviously he does a lot of anime voices. He's done Death the Kid, he was at Orem High School Host Club, he's also done a lot of video game stuff as well, because I believe he's also Teru Teru from Danganronpa 2, and he's also Karakyo from Danganronpa B3, so he's done a lot of video game stuff as well, so it would be amazing to see him. Anyone else I would love to see? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. It would be cool if we got maybe some more of the Ruby voice cast. I know before that we managed to get the voice actresses for Blake and Weiss, and I got to meet them one year when they came, and I got a signature from them, obviously, on one of their pictures. So it was really cool. It would be nice if we could meet more of the Ruby cast. An excuse to re-invite Vic Mignogna because he voices Crow. That would be pretty cool. Who else? I know it sounds silly because we already had him last year. I would love it if Bryce Papenbrook came back for MCM, mainly because I never got to see him last year because his lines were so busy both days. I was planning to at least maybe go the first day when I was cosplaying as Ladybug, but the line was so long I didn't actually get to join it in between me doing photo shoots, going around the place, vlogging and stuff. And I thought, oh, I'll see him on the second day when it's less busy on the Sunday, but his line was still mobbed on the Sunday and I never got the chance to see him, which made me quite sad actually. It made me quite sad. But yeah, other voice actors or actors in particular that I want to see even if I can talk. It's kind of hard because there's just so many people that I like, and actually here's another one. Another one that I would love would be Quentin Flynn, because I've tweeted Quentin Flynn before about coming to MCM Scotland, because I believe he went to a previous MCM, and I was like so bummed that he hadn't came here yet. I was like, oh Quentin, please can you come to MCM Scotland one year? And he tweeted me back and he was like, oh, you should suggest it to the people who organise it. I would love to come. And yet he's still not here, so I did suggest it to, I did send an email, or rather, saying please invite Quentin Flynn, he's on board for the, come on. And sadly, nothing has really happened yet because of that. I would love if Quentin Flynn came, because obviously he's Axel from Kingdom Hearts. I'm pretty sure he did actually voice Silver from Sonic the Hedgehog at one point. There's a lot of debate about whether or not he did voice him, because people were saying, no, it's not actually him, actually it is him, nobody actually knows, and then I think he did eventually voice him at some point, which I always found funny. But yeah, that would be amazing to meet him. Anyone else in particular? I'm trying to think off the top of my head, any more voice actors I can think of. I can't really think of any. Anymore. It's just like my brain is like frazzled. It's like I'm thinking of characters than I am actually the real voice of the person. So if I just like spout characters, you'll probably be like, I don't actually know the name of this person. It's like, you're right, because I don't actually know the name of this person either. I can just recognize their voice because they have a very, very distinct voice. But I guess that's all for kind of voice actors that I would love to see. I would list a bunch of actual actors I would like to see, but the majority of them that I would want to see are probably never ever going to attend MCM Scotland. Probably they would only attend London or anything like that, because London obviously gets the best guests because, you know, it's London and they're a way bigger MCM. Like, they've gotten so many good guests. I am still holding out for the hope that one day John Barrowman shows up to MCM Scotland, because I'm like, please, you've done so many pantomimes in Scotland, you've been to so many like different cons around the world, can you please come to MCM Scotland? Like, come on, it's like your home. Scotland is your home, please come back and actually do MCM Scotland. But that's probably it for like the kind of actory people or whatever. But the kind of like YouTube people that I would love to come, well, they're not like entirely YouTube people because they've got other careers outside of YouTube. I would love to meet Neon Sabattle, aka Nathan Sharp, and his lovely girlfriend Christina V. They are the most precious people in the world. I've been following Nate like on YouTube since the very early days when he had like less than maybe 100,000 subscribers or something like that, and literally I've just watched like his content and everything for years and years and years, and I'm just such an avid fan, and it would be great if he finally came over to the UK for something. I don't know if he would ever come for MCM Scotland, maybe he'd go to London or whatever, but it would be awesome to meet him, because he's also gotten into voice acting as well. Obviously Christina V, she voices Ladybug and Marinette, and she also voices quite a lot of other people. I believe she voices one of the newer characters in Digimon Tri as well, so it would be awesome to see them and maybe meet them. It would be absolutely amazing, because they are amazing people. Other than that, I can't think of any other kind of YouTube people that I would like to meet. It would be kind of funny if, I know it would never happen because he's not the type of person to do this thing. It could be funny if they ever invited like I Hate Everything, even though that's probably not the kind of thing he'd be into doing. I imagine that he just would not be into conventions and the whole thing. Although I don't think if he's ever talked about hating conventions. I'm not too sure, but you never know. I mean, I mainly follow him on Twitter and YouTube and stuff like that, but probably I don't think it would be the kind of thing he'd be into. It would be funny to actually meet him in real life, even though he's always like, you probably wouldn't recognize him because I think he did one face reveal and I think it was a joke one, So I'm not quite sure whether or not, you know, people would actually recognize him unless he had like his icon like above a table or something like that. But other than that, I can't really think of too many other YouTube people that I would like to come. I mean, there would be like the other kind of musician-y people. Like I would love it if Mando Pony came, who does a lot of music stuff with Nate. It would be really cool if we got some more music people like Jonathan Young. He's an amazing singer, like Caleb Hiles, but people like that would probably be very hard to get, especially for MCM Scotland, because it's not the biggest of the cons, although I think it is growing, it is getting bigger. I feel like maybe one day we'll be able to rival London at some point, because if you've ever been to MCM Scotland, or if you've ever seen my vlogs for MCM Scotland, it is always busy, it is always hectic and just full of people. But I think that'll be it for this Patreon exclusive, or not Patreon exclusive, but Patreon bonus video, guys. If you want to suggest video topics, whatever, you can always check out my Patreon down below. That is where people go, they can it's like they pledge money on different tiers each month and they get sent rewards. They get drawings drawn for them, they get exclusive insight into thumbnails I make before they go live, they get a visual schedule of everything I'm going to upload when it's happening, they get little updates about what's happening in my life and everything, and they get just lots of behind the scenes content and whatever. They get all the kind of behind the scenes content and things like that. And on certain tiers, they get to suggest video topics for me, just like for Alucard in this video. But I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Let me know down in the comments down below, what would be a guest at a convention that you would really like to meet? Like, I would like to know, who is like your dream guest for a convention that you would love to meet, or get them to sign something, or anything like that. I would love to know. And until next time, guys, I will see you all later. This video was made possible thanks to patrons such as Houston Moore, Alucard and Craig McCutcheon.